Good morning, friends. I have a new lesson for today, and what we're going to be covering today is how to evaluate logarithmic functions and how to find the inverse of log functions. Logs can sound a little scary in the beginning, but pretty much all it is a log is pretty much just an exponent. What is the exponent? And I just want to do a quick review of exponents I made you memorize a while back. 2 to what power gives me 8? We know that that's 3. It's cubed. 2 to what exponent gives me 16? We know that that is 4. But the question is, here's where logs come in. You could be doing a mathy kind of problem, a sciencey kind of problem, and you get to the point where you say 2 to what exponent is going to give me 12, and off the top of your head you know that it's not an integer because it has to fall somewhere between 3 and 4. If 2 to the third is 8 and 2 to the fourth is 16, how do you get an answer that yields a 12? What exponent do you need? Well, it's got to be somewhere between 3 and 4. So it's probably 3 point, I don't know, 5, 6. It's always something that's a decimal and not pretty. Also, what happens is if you don't have an integer here, you definitely can't do this in your head. 2 to what exponent gives me 13.46? I have no idea. So that's where logs come into play. That's what a log does. So you and I are going to be, let me just scroll down so you can see the goal, evaluating log functions and using log properties. Evaluate log functions and use log properties. And the first thing we'll talk about is a common log. A common log is a logarithm or a log that has a base of 10. Because it's used frequently with a base 10, you can just write log. If you have an x to the first power, you don't put a 1 there. If there's no exponent, you know that it's to the first power. If you write an A and there's no number in front of the A, you know that it's a 1. Logs work like this. If you see a log that looks like this and there's no subscript, you know that it's a 10. There's something called a natural log, and here we are back with this E again that we talked about earlier. A log with a base or a subscript of E can also be written as ln, which is natural log, and it's usually written with a script like this, not typed or printed. You have to do the script ln. That's what it'll look like. We're going to start off with just rewriting log equations so you can see what it looks like, in reference to my exponents, because logs are essentially just exponents. So if you have some log with a subscript or a base of a number and that equals another number, we draw arrows. We draw arrows, and you're going to be doing this for the next couple years. So we're just going to get used to it today. You start with the B, go towards the X, and then loop back around to the Y. B to the exponent of X equals Y. Practice, you're going to do these arrows a lot, so you should practice it when you're doing your notes. B to the X equals Y. And you guys are taking beautiful notes today, I'm sure, in your organized notebooks. This can go another way. X to the fifth equals X to the fifth. Well, that only makes sense. So essentially what can happen here is, the reason why we need this property is when you have a subscript and the base is the same, log sub X of X, these can cancel, and then you get just 5. For example, if I have log 3 of 3 to the 5th. The log sub 3 and the 3 will cancel, and you're left with just the exponent, which is 5. We're going to use that later, so that's another important concept. So 2 things we just talked about, and here's the application of it. Rewrite each in exponential form. Friends, you need the arrows. This is going to help you remember. So you start with the base, which is an 8. And it's 8 to the negative 2 equals 1 over 64. 8 to the negative 2 equals 1 over 64. That's the exponential form. So here it is in log form. Here it is in exponential form. Let's do another. Exponential form. What does all this mean? What is this gobbledygook? Let's rewrite it, and it will make more sense to us. X squared equals 64. Well, that makes much more sense. The reason why we have to work on going back and forth like this is because it's not always going to be pretty like that. Sometimes it will be in the problems in the introduction that were decimals or fraction-y kind of numbers. So we're going to start with these. Now, if we were in class, I would tell you you have to do these without a calculator. There's my arrow, so I'm ready to go. 16 to the 1/4 equals 2. Well, for heaven's sakes, how can that happen? How can that happen? You guys remember that 1/4 is the same as the 4th root of 16? You remember doing that? The 4th root of 16 is 2, so yeah, that's a true statement. That actually works out. Let's try one more. Nine to the 1st equals 9. So these are all true statements, and they will always be true. All we're doing is rewriting. So we're going to go in the opposite direction here. Here I give it to you in exponential form, and we need to introduce some logs. This is going to be helpful when we start solving equations using logs. We're going to rewrite each equation in log form. Now I'm going to remember that in order to cancel the 9, I'm going to go back up to here for a sec. This property right here, this is what's important. If I wanted to cancel the x, I could multiply it by log sub x. So here's the same thing. I want to introduce a log to this function. I want to make this into a log function, so I want to introduce a log. The way that we do it is we multiply the left side by log sub 9. You multiply the right side by log sub 9. On the left side, they cancel, and you're just left with the exponent that is a 0. And then you have a log sub 9, 1. I rewrote it in a different order because we're used to doing this with the arrows. 9 to the 0 equals 1. So here's the scoop. You look at the number that has an exponent, whatever the base is, that's what you're going to multiply the left and the right side up for. So it would be log sub 9 here. For number 6, because it's a 2 with an exponent, you're going to multiply on both sides by log sub 2. See it? On the left side, log sub 2 and 2's cancel. Strike 3. You're just going to have the negative 6 left. And you can't do anything with this. It stays the same. Okay, if you're confused, go back and look at numbers 5 again, 5 and 6 again, but let's keep going. 343 is what we're trying to cancel because that's the one with the exponent. So we're going to multiply both sides by log sub 343. On the left side, it cancels, and you're left with 1/3. Now 1/3 drops back down. It drops down off of the exponent and becomes a base then. And I like to write it on the right side then so that I can check it with my arrows. 343 to the 1/3 equals 7. And that was the original equation, so I know I did it right. Last one. Okay, stop the video here and you try it. Make sure you know how to rewrite it in log form. And when you're finished, check your answer. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to do some evaluating. Now this is a non-calculator part. This is just something that in the long run, next year when you guys hit pre-calc or whatever class you're going to next, it is going to help you to be able to do this in your head. So take a minute and write everything out. You are supposed to let this log equal x in order to solve, and you're supposed to do it without a calculator, so I'll set it equal to x. There we go, set it equal to x. Let's draw the arrows. That's going to help to see what are we really doing here. So 2 to the x equals 32. There's my arrows, and then you can write your equation. Well, you memorize this, and you know that x is 5. And a spoiler alert, I showed you number 10 also, but let's go through that one. I'm going to make it bigger if you're sitting in the back of the classroom. That way you can see it better. Get it. Log sub 3 of 81 equals x. You guys, it smells so good in my house right now. I just made coffee. Look. Can you see it? Oh, it smells so good here. Coffee break. Okay. 3 to the x equals 81. 3 to what exponent equals 81? I know that. I memorized that. It's 4. Did you do that? Yes, Mrs. Braun. Uh-oh, it's a little fractiony here. All right, here's the scoop. If you have a base of 5 and your exponent is an x and you're trying to figure out how to get from a whole number to a fraction, your exponent has to be negative. Write that down in your notes. A whole number to a variable, if you're trying to figure out how to go from a whole number to an exponent, that's a variable, and we're trying to make it into a fraction, your exponent has to be negative, and it's going to push it down to the denominator. So if x was -1, it would give me 1/5. So if you go from a whole number to a fraction, just know that your exponent's going to be negative. Oops, here's, oh, there it is. Same deal. You guys, same deal. You try this one. All for you. Stop the video. Do the math. That's what you get. Okay, last one. This one's a little wonky because you're going from, so it's 36 to the x equals 6. Do you see how the number got smaller? 36 to the first is 36, and 36 squared is a huge number, but because this gets smaller, this can get a little tricky. So I'm going to tell you that the exponent will be a fraction. When you go from a larger number to a smaller number like this, it's going to be a fraction because you have to take the square root of it. You make the exponent 1/2 and take the square root. You make the exponent 1/3 and take a cube root or a 4th root, whatever you need to do to make that number smaller. For this one, x is 1/2 because if I had 36 to the 1/2, if I had 36 to the 1/2, that would be the square root of 36. And hey, yep, that's 6. If this